As usual, Top Rank Boxing has another solid card for us this weekend when Seniesa Estrada takes on Leonela Yudica for Estrada's WBC and WBA women's strawweight titles. And then also there's a co-feature with Andres Cortes versus Xavier Martinez, which is going to be pretty good too. But before we get into that, welcome back to All Takes No Whiffs. I'm Alex, and that's Christian. And this is honestly going to be a pretty solid fight for Seniesa Estrada. Utica is actually a former world champion herself. She was the former IBF light flyweight champion for the women's division, and she actually defended this belt for 8 years. She got it in 2014. She lost it 2 fights ago, and then she won her previous fight after that. So she's actually a pretty decent fighter, and this is going to be a pretty good matchup for Estrada.
Really nice matchup for Estrada right here. Definitely not a 7-second fight type of matchup right here, to be honest. But going into this fight, both fighters have really solid resumes. As you mentioned, Utica is a former world champion. Really solid record, 19-1 with 3 draws. That's a lot of draws for somebody, to be honest. But one knockout. That's interesting, but honestly doesn't mean everything. But 24-0 with 9 KOs for Seniesa Estrada. And as I kind of alluded to, I'm really looking forward to this fight because Estrada, obviously, with the fastest knockout in women's boxing history. Crazy highlight. I feel like every time I see that highlight, I'm just like, it surprises me every time. But I just really like that. That's not necessarily going to be the case in this matchup because Utica is definitely more skilled
Mm-hmm.
to at least, I think she's going to last at least one round. But I don't know. At the same time, Estrada just being on top of her game right now, while Utica is just, I don't want to say past her best, but past her accomplishments, if you could say that. So I'm not really sure how I'm feeling for Utica in this matchup.
Her last fight, though, split decision victory. That was one hell of a fight, to be honest. Honestly, could have gone either way, but I will say she's got some dog in her, though. But she's gonna need it for this fight for Estrada. One thing I will say about Utica, though, she kind of leaves her head open at times, leaves her chin open. So if Estrada can maybe catch her at some times, then she can maybe put her out at some point. And also, I just think Estrada is probably just better all around. I know that her footwork, and she's very, very quick on her feet. So I know that that footwork is going to be an advantage in this fight for her.
Yeah, definitely an advantage. I would say that and just how much sharper her punches are. So with all that in mind, honestly, I would have to say I'm definitely favoring Estrada in this fight, but at the same time, Utica could pull off a performance and pull off the upset. I think she's game for that. But I would have to say I think Estrada is probably going to pull this off with a stoppage, just because of how much better she looks like as of late and how she's just been constantly improving. So I would have to say mid-round stoppage. I'm gonna guess round six stoppage for Estrada.
I like that pick, honestly. I'm gonna go with the round 8 stoppage for Estrada in this fight. I think that Utica, like I said, she's got some dog in her, and she's probably gonna just last it out throughout the fight. But Utica is coming down in one weight division from this, so that is kind of just a little interesting thing in this fight too.
Yeah, that's something that could play a factor, or it could play a factor in either person's advantage. To be honest, we'll just have to wait and see what kind of shape she's in going down in weight. So interested to see how that works. We don't see that nearly as often as people moving up in weight. But before we wrap up this video, definitely want to mention Andres Cortes versus Xavier Martinez on the undercard. This is an interesting fight to look forward to because Andres Cortes has got some nice names on his amateur resume. He's beaten Teofimo Lopez twice in the amateurs. So I'm sure his dad, Teofimo Sr., hates this guy. I'm looking forward to supporting him and watching him fight.
Oh yeah, and a couple other people on this undercard. Abraham Nova, that's another solid name on here. Dante Benjamin Jr. This dude has nasty knockout after knockout. I think he fought like 3 or 4 weeks ago on a card we covered too. So get ready for him to get probably another really nasty knockout on this card too.
Yep. Top Rank likes to come through with these really solid cards when it's not mega fights. I mean, they just come through with solid cards all around. But whenever it's like how do you put it? Like an evenly spread card, like when there's just good entertainment all around, they bring in the good prospects and they just know how to host an event. So shout out to them for that. But really looking forward to this card. If you guys are as well, definitely subscribe because we're going to be talking about it next week in our recap. And go ahead and leave a like on this video. We appreciate any and all support.
Oh yeah, we appreciate any and all support. And this fight is actually on Friday night. It's not going to be on Saturday, so make sure you keep that in mind. And also go ahead and let us know in the comments who you got winning this fight, and also let us know who you got winning in the Andres Cortes versus Xavier Martinez fight. Should be a really solid card this weekend, but until then, peace.
Peace.